We are live.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Let's see, Marisol, may we get the agenda? Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and welcome you guys once again to our meeting today on February 19th, 2021 at 10 a.m. I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order at, let me get that timing, at 10:05 a.m. Alrighty, moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance. So we now give time before the meeting to recognize those who wish to recite the pledge, reminding those in attendance that they're not required to do so. So we're going to go ahead and do it on the count of three. If you'd like to accompany me, I would really appreciate it. 1, 2, and 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Moving on to our roll call and establishment of quorum. So present me, I am present. We have our Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus.
I'm here.
He is present. Thank you, Nick. I have our Vice President of San Antonio Campus, Victoria. She is not present. I do have our student trustee, Cassin Chamberlain.
Present.
Thank you, Cassin. Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle. Oh, Janelle will not be present. Sorry, she is excused. We have our Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Alexis Martinez.
Here.
Thank you, Alexis. We do have our Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie Vasquez. She is here.
Here.
Thank you, Stephanie. Commissioner of Public Relations, Ariana. I don't believe she is on the line. Commissioner of Student Equity and Culture Affairs, Aaron Gonzalez. Present. Thank you so much, Aaron. And lastly, our Senator of College Activities, Daly Dewitt.
Present.
Thank you, Daly. Moving on to our SGA Advisors. We have our first SGA Advisor, Student Associate Dean of Student Services, Mike Cardenas.
Hi, present.
Present. Already. Moving on to our first SGA Advisor, Jose Hernandez. Is not present. We do have our second SGA Advisor, Suzanne.
Yes, present.
Thank you. And our last SGA Advisor, Maricela Magana.
Here.
Thank you, Maricela. Moving on to the approval of minutes. I did send this out. These are the minutes from last week's meeting. If I can go ahead and get a motion of approval.
I motion.
Thank you, Daly. Can I go ahead and get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so Nick, thank you very much, Nick. Moving on to our board reports and information items. So our reports are to be limited to 1 minute each. Additional time can be allotted with a motion and a second from the Senate. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our advisor report. Advisors, go ahead and take it away if there are any reports.
Sorry, I'll go last, y'all.
I don't have much to report this week. Just hope you guys enjoyed your long weekend, ready to get back into the semester this week. But other than that, I don't have much to report.
Hi everyone, happy Friday. I just wanted to give you all a shout out and a thank you. I know you have all been busy bees working in your respective committees and participating in events, town halls, and all that good stuff. And of course, if you're able to make it here today as well, we really appreciate you. I know SGA has a lot going on besides being students. So thank you all so much for what you do. And I just wanted to give that quick shout out. So thank you all, SGA. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys. And lastly, we have Maya.
Hey, y'all. Sorry, trying to get my camera set up here. Yeah, so gosh, we have a few things that I wanted to just bring up and mention. Some of it we're going to talk about actually on the agenda, so I'll hold off until we get to the agenda items. But I did want to make an announcement with regard to just our leadership at MSJC. We've had a little bit of a change of our Vice President of Student Services. So Dr. Colson is taking a step back, and so he will be resigning at the end of the semester, so I think June, and so he'll still be here at MSJC. He's just he's decided to take another step that's going to take him outside necessarily of his responsibilities for overseeing student services, but he's still working on some special projects for the district and is still definitely here. So please feel free to continue meeting with him or chatting with him in terms of like whatever at a mentorship I guess state. But in terms of his direct oversight over student government and student services and everything else, that's going to be shifted to a variety of other folks that are in executive cabinet. So for me personally, I used to report to Dr. Coulson. I now actually report to Executive Dean Rebecca Teague and Vice President Brandon Moore. So I'm on that side of the house now, along with our Director of Financial Aid, Director Trinity Williams, and our Interim Dean of Enrollment, Barbara Fountain. So the three of us are on that side with Brandon and Rebecca, and a couple of other folks in student service. All the rest of the student services management have been split up with the other executive cabinet members, so they report to them. So we're actually not going to hire for a permanent vice president of student services until I believe summer, fall. I think the goal is to have somebody permanent in place by fall. But they want to, I think, wait, until we can ideally have an in-person interview. I know it's challenging to have, Zoom interviews. So I think that's potentially what the plan might be. It could change though, but I do think that's what the district's leaning towards doing. So that's just an announcement I wanted to make sure that y'all were aware of. And like I said, Dr. Coulson is still here at the district. I believe he will still be organizing graduation. And so there may still be some opportunity where he may come in and want to dialogue with y'all or chat with y'all like he has in the past about how things are going with graduation and just kind of checking in. I don't know yet though. I haven't chatted with him about that specifically, but I just wanted to give y'all that heads up. Rebecca will probably be coming to one of our meetings to just, pop in at some point to say hi. I think she'll also be working on scheduling a meeting. The meetings that Brian and Caston used to have, or Brian and Ariana used to have with Dr. Coulson, will now shift to Rebecca. And so we'll all be meeting together at some point and hopefully the next couple of weeks. Everything, I think other than that is going pretty well. Everybody's just we're trying to plan for a return to campus. So I do, want to let everybody know that we're definitely, that's on our minds. And Brian and Caston were at the board meeting and there was a lively discussion about the return to campus. And so I'll let Brian and Caston give that report out in terms of, maybe where they stand on things. And I don't think I will say this, I don't think, I think things are going to just remain in flux because we just don't know what the virus is going to do. However, if it is at all possible to do it safely, I know that that's definitely the board and the administrators, Dr. Schultz's main priority to make sure that we can get students back to campus as soon as possible, but at the same time being as safe as possible. And so it's a difficult balance sometimes to keep, but I know that everybody's really working hard to make sure that that's the goal. So anyway, that's all I have. Everything else I'll comment on the agenda items, but thank you.
Perfect. Alrighty. Moving on to our executive office reports. Any executive officer reports today? I'll go ahead and go last as well.
Yes, sorry. Sorry, I'll go. Sorry, my throat got a little clogged. So good morning, everyone. I hope you are all doing really well. I know it's been kind of a crazy week for everyone, but I really do hope you're doing well. Regarding my role as student trustee, I've done a lot this week, so I will try to keep this report as short as I possibly can. So last Thursday, I attended my first Board of Trustees meeting. It was really informative, and I just really enjoyed the first meeting. As Maya said, we are working on going to campus soon. Not soon, but we're trying to work on it. I know the summer we're not going to be having any courses face-to-face, but we're working on having courses as soon as we can. Of course, with the state and everything, we have to follow certain protocols, but there is hope. I do believe there's always hope. And also, I was able to have the opportunity to tour the Temecula Valley campus, and it was really nice and really updated. Brian went with me, and I would also like to make a point that there's also renovations on the Menifee Valley campus and San Jacinto campus. There's a lot going on. So we're not forgetting about you on the other campuses. So please be looking forward to the renovations going on the other campuses. Check them out when we're able to. And I want to wish everyone a great week and pat everyone on the back and say good job for making it through the semester. And this concludes my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Caston. Any other executive officer reports?
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, my bad. Was someone else talking?
You just collided with Aaron.
Oh, I apologize, Aaron. It's a fast one. Just ICC. We Victoria and I met and we updated the attendance. So all the clubs from last semester and this semester are current for their points. That's all.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nick. And Aaron, go ahead and take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not feeling the best, but anyways, Sscga is really, well, I know there's a lot of work to be done, but I think the work is really going to outreach to the grand, mosaic of SGA. When it comes to like Sscga, I think one of the most important things is that, we get not a resolution, excuse me, it's kind of early in the morning, but that when it comes to the future of of the, that thing, I can't even talk today, sorry. You know what, I can't talk today, I'm sorry.
It's all good. No worries, Aaron. If you want, go ahead and just type it in the chat and then I'll go ahead and read it if you would want to as well. But thank you. Anyone else? Any other executive officer reports this week? Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and read a report real quick from Janelle. I know she was not able to be present, but she did leave a report for us. She did stay in her report. Amy Wong from Active Minds is reaching out to SGA to advertise and be a part of the Movies for Mental Health film screening, which is scheduled on Thursday, March 4th, 2021. So I encourage all SGA members to participate and share with your classmates and professors about this opportunity. And that is her report. And I know she has more for virtual events, but for executive office reports, that is her report. I'm going to go ahead and just ask for a last call for any other executive officer reports before I go ahead and report. All righty. Well, I'll go ahead and report then. Well, good morning, everyone. Just happy Friday. I know it was a short week, but it definitely felt like a longer week. I want to go ahead and just take this time to say happy Black History Month as well. I know I haven't said it in my previous meetings, but I have been celebrating throughout this month. And I just want to say happy Black History Month as well. Just starting on my report, as Caston mentioned, we did have the opportunity to visit Temecula Valley campus yesterday, and we made history being the first students ever to visit that campus. So I can definitely say it is an amazing campus, and I can see Temecula expanding real quick. And I would just like to also say as well, just as Caston mentioned, there are plans for renovations and upgrades at both San Jacinto and Menifee campus, and they're just structured in a timeline. But I can assure you that MSGC will be very different by the time students go back to campus and do face-to-face classes. It will be a much more better experience. And I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing Temecula Valley campus open in the fall. I did want to share with you guys that the honors enrichment program are doing honors orientations. They have some dates listed they had some for this week, but they also have some for the end of April, and those are just orientations to get more information on the honors enrichment program, as well as its advantages and opportunities that's included. I also wanted to mention real quick, give me 1 second. For Region 9, there will be a General Assembly, and that General Assembly, let me go ahead and get that date for you guys. Give me one sec. Where did I have it?
It's March 26th through 28th.
There you go. I apologize.
I had the email up already, so I was faster.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. I have it somewhere pinned here, but I have so many emails. But yes, it is March 26th, and there is a Region 9 meeting. So go ahead, and if you are interested, please sign up. I highly encourage you all to sign up. I know there is a prize, but we can definitely talk about having SGA members participate in that as well. I know the Region 9 delegate gets entry for free, but I know everyone else has to pay, but I'm not sure what the prices are on the top of my mind right now. But I did want to mention that as well. Also, the Talon, they are doing, I did see this and I just want to give them a shout out as well. They're doing on their website, they are doing a series of collection of Hispanic and Latinx stories from MSGC students to discuss heritage, culture, and perception. And these interviews are available on their YouTube playlist. And you can find all their information on the Talon, whether it's on their website or on their YouTube channel. And these are Yo Soy series by the editor-in-chief, Cindy Lopez, and Talon co-editor, Seidel Perez. So go ahead and check those out. I know that they're also doing, for the class of 2021, if you are receiving your acceptance from your university, they want to see your college reactions. So if you would like to go ahead and showcase that, go ahead and tag MSGC Talent in a photo or video on Instagram showing that you got accepted, and they will share it there as well. And they're hoping to have a compilation of all those submissions at the end of the semester. That way they can celebrate and appreciate the class of 2021. And lastly, I know for Black History Month, if you would like to go ahead and submit a short paragraph of your favorite or your influence for Black History Month, go ahead and share that to msjctalent@gmail.com, and they'll go ahead and review it and post it on their Instagram and social media platforms. And then lastly, real quick, I did want to say, I know Jose sent this out, but if you haven't seen it from the email, there is a conference being brought to us by the familia of UCR, Chicano Student Programs and the LGBT Resource Center of UCR. They are presenting a queer college conference for BIPOC, which is Black, Indigenous, and people of color, with a focus on people who identify as part of the Latin, South, Central American diaspora. However, all people of gender and sexualities are welcome to attend. It is open to everyone, and Jose said that they did have SGA members attend in the past, so I would highly encourage, if you are free today, the conference is scheduled today at 4 p.m. He did include the registration below in that email, but if you don't see the email in your email, go ahead and just let me know and I will definitely forward that to you. But overall, this week has been, as I said, it's been a short one, but it's been a long one to me. Please make sure to just stay hydrated, to take some rest, and really take care of yourself. Oh, lastly, yes, if you haven't seen already, MSGC is offering the Moderna vaccine to those who qualify under Tier 1, Tier 1A and Tier 1B. You can check all this information as well as the dates on their website. I did see that they had a delay in vaccines. So they're rescheduling all those appointments that were scheduled this week to next week. And I'm hoping that next week they can have more appointments available as well. But everything that you need to know is on their MSGC website. If you go to the departments and go ahead and go to, I believe it is the Student Health Center, you'll see more information there about the vaccine. But other than that, this concludes my report. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to our legislative reports. Any senators would like to report this week?
Yeah, I'll report, Brian. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I am super stoked that it is Friday. And then kind of just going off of what Janelle's report was and kind of going off of our committee report. So I'm kind of like skipping ahead. I'm going to report on, we discussed in our committee meeting this week a little bit about music hour again, and we're kind of trying that out in a couple of weeks again. And we discussed having 2 different times on like 2 different days. So one an afternoon session and one kind of morning session. Also, this week we did Random Acts of Kindness Week on the Instagram. So if you were seeing the Instagram stories and stuff, you should have saw that. So I was just going to remind everybody to be kind today, pay ahead for somebody in a drive-through, give a compliment, etc., because kindness is a super nice thing to do. And then lastly, I was just going to remind and hit on the fact that we have movies for mental health coming up. So if you guys can participate or join that, that would be greatly appreciated. And the flyer, whoever did that, looks great. I think that was cast in, so that looks great. And I'm pretty sure we have Club Rush coming up soon also. So that was my last thing to report on. But yeah, happy Friday. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Daly. Any other senators? Alrighty, moving on to committee reports. Any committees would like to report this week? Going once, going twice. Alrighty, moving on to our virtual events. Let me go ahead and get Janelle's email. For virtual events, she did want to include that it is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and that is next week, February 22 through the 26th. And then we also have Virtual Club Rush Remix, as Daly mentioned, and this will be Tuesday, February 23, and Wednesday, February 24. They'll have two of the same session times. So the morning will be from 10:30 to 11:30 on both days, as well as 3:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon as well for both days. And I highly encourage you all to participate. I know Jose did send out that link with, or did send out the email with the link so that you can register, and please go ahead, share it to your classmates, share it to your peers. We really want to make sure that we get a lot of students to participate as possible. And lastly, for virtual events, Janelle did mention that for March, please check your spring retreat document for the event social media highlight that you volunteered so that you can create a flyer and poster for it as well. But that does it for virtual events. Anyone have any questions? Alrighty, moving on then to SGA feedback. Kudos, confessions, and concerns. So this time is reserved for discussions among SGA legislators related to feelings, thoughts, and intergroup dynamics and group norms. Items on the agenda may not be discussed on during this time. I apologize. I did get a message from Stephanie. I know that she is working, and she does send me a message regarding the committee report. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back to her real quick. She said that she does have an announcement for the committee reports. Institutional Effectiveness Committee is having another meeting Tuesday on the 23rd regarding the bylaws and the Constitution. So it's continuing to be a work in progress, and she'll be sharing an email regarding the minutes as well as the time for that meeting. And she's hoping that you guys can join her meeting on Tuesday, the 23rd. But thank you so much, Stephanie, for reporting on that one. And moving back to SGA feedback, how is everyone doing today? How's everyone doing this week? For me personally, it's been a long week. I've definitely felt the coursework and everything has been really heavy on me. But like always, I really encourage you all to drink some water, take some time for yourself, take mini breaks. It's really important that you just keep yourself motivated, especially during this time. And we are almost there at the end of the finish line. So I highly please just drink some water, take some rest, and practice any activities that really like lower your stress and just lower the anxiety as well. But how is everyone else doing? I'm gonna go ahead and pick. Captain, how are you doing?
Oh, I meant to unmute myself, not turn on my camera, but that's fine. I was gonna do that either way. Anyway, I've been doing good. It's been busy taking 5 classes. It's been busy focusing on classes. and everything. It's been good though. I've been staying motivated. Yes, Stephanie, it has been a long week. Definitely in a good way though. It's been a busy and long week, and I'm really just glad to be able to have the opportunities I have. And I've just been trying to focus on being grateful and stuff like that. How are you, Brian?
Yeah, like I said, I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to hang in there. I did see Stephanie. She did put it in the chat. She said, "Good. It felt like a long week." I definitely think so as well. I'm not sure why if it felt like a long week, even though we had one day off. But hey, we've made it to Friday, and that's all that matters. How is everyone else doing? Is there any kudos, confessions, anything at all that anyone would like to bring up?
I'm feeling pretty good, guys. Just took my 2 tests yesterday. Pretty sure I got hundreds on both of them. So, big chill in there. But everything else in life, it's crumbling. But school should be fine.
Well, I am definitely glad to hear that, Nick. I know you'll do fine.
I just want to give kudos to everyone here. I feel like just like everyone's doing a good job trying to do the best they can. And I feel like everyone's putting in the effort, and just good job to all of you. And I want to give kudos to Brian because he's just been answering all my questions in this new role. And he's been really great and understanding. And I really appreciate that, Brian. And advisors, including Maya, because you guys just are always so responsive and there for us and supportive. And you guys have such a busy schedule, but you always make time for us, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you, Caston.
Yeah, that means a lot. And thank you just for serving our students as well in this new role. I will say as well, I do have. Let me see. Give me one sec. Sorry, I apologize.
Hey, Brian, I have a I don't know, comment, question. I think it's all of them, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Maya.
So I just wanted to share y'all, like, it's so interesting, like today, like everybody's kind of expressing, I'm getting a collective sense that we're all just like tired, like for the most part. And or at least for me, I'll just name my feeling, but like I'll be honest with y'all, like I woke up this morning and I was like, why am I kind of feeling like, what's this energy I'm feeling? Like, I'm trying to like really be reflective of like, just question kind of like why things come up for me. And I'll be honest, y'all, like my wife actually helped me realize this about 10 minutes before we came into this meeting. I'm like, I really miss you all in person. Like, I really miss being on campus. I really miss doing the work that student life actually is. And so I just want to give you all, I just want to acknowledge, I guess. So I don't know if it's a kudos or if it's just a general acknowledgement. And I really appreciate Aaron, a few minutes ago, really just like being honest and saying, yo, like, I'm just gonna like, I just can't do this right now. Like, that's all good. Like, cause I think that's because I was really struggling this week. I'm like, why am I kind of feeling like I'm almost like in autopilot a little bit? And I think this is what it is. I'm just like, I actually, as high as my anxiety is about the virus, y'all, like, y'all know this, like, I have a lot of, because I just don't want to get sick and all the things. But I just really miss you all in person. Like, I miss being on campus. I miss the, just us being able to like see each other in a space and like, yeah. So I just want to acknowledge that, like, it's really weird right now. And I think this will pass because I think we're going to get closer to, being able to be on campus. But anyway, I just want to acknowledge that yeah, you guys are doing incredible. And I'm just happy that you're here, even if, we're just here, right? It's all good.
Definitely, I agree. And I remembered what I was going to talk about. I was just going to say, it just came back to me. I did want to mention, I lost my train of thought again. Today has been, it's been a crazy day. But I do want to just say, I thank you all as well just for your time, for being here, for working hard for our students. And I wish we could definitely go back on campus. I feel like it's just such a different experience. But we can only do so much right now, and only so much is in our control as well. And I did see Daly. She did put in the chat, she said, I feel like I have a bit of senioritis, especially in the virtual world. I am staying motivated, I'm working hard and positive, but I agree with Maya, I'm missing people in person. I agree.
Something that is kind of relevant is that is just funny that my mom always says that might make you guys smile is that whenever we used to have guests over for dinner, like big dinners with all our friends and stuff last year before everything hit, they'd be like, thanks mom, because everyone calls my mom, and my mom would always be like, well, thanks for showing up. And I think that's kind of something that we can say today. Thanks for showing up, everyone. I mean, we might be tired, we might be going through stuff, but we all showed up today, and that says something. And so, yeah, that's just something that came to mind. Thanks for showing up today.
Thank you, Casson. Any other confessions, kudos, concerns? I lost my train of thought, so I'm just going to give up on that one. Alrighty, going once, going twice. Alrighty, moving on to public forum. Advisor, did we get any public comments this week?
Yes, we got one. I'll read it off to you guys. So this is from Gerardo Chavez. He's part of the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. He's the Regional Affairs Director for Region 9, our region. So this is the email he sent. Good morning, SGA student leaders and advisors. My name is Gerardo, Regional Affairs Director of Region 9. I would like to personally extend an invitation to all of you to attend our General Assembly, which will be held March 26th through 28th. More information can be found at studentsenate.ccc.org. And he also said, lastly, MSJC will be featured in the Region 9 newsletter, and we will highlight your activities and accomplishments. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram at SSCC Region 9. That's all.
Perfect. Alrighty. Thank you so much. Moving on to discussion and action items. So the following items may be discussed and voted on at this time, 8 minutes per topic with 1 minute per speaker. Members of the public may speak after the discussion by the voting body has closed and before a vote by the voting body is taken. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our first discussion and action item. It is discussion and appointment of Sscc Region 9 delegate. Advisors, I'm not sure if you want to go ahead and just provide some info. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's pretty clear there.
Yeah, so I believe Region 9 meetings are once a month, Brian, right?
Yes, they are once a month on Fridays.
Yeah, once a month on Fridays. I believe they start at 2 o'clock. So you would just need to attend those meetings. And then there's also opportunities to be part of a committee within the Region 9. So you can get involved in that too. And it's just a collaborative of all the California community colleges across the state. A representative from each area is there. And you get to kind of, mingle with all of them and do the work. Similar to what we're doing here, but just on a bigger level, right? So.
Great. And this one is for who exactly? Is it for Caston?
What do you mean?
Because technically we do have a Region 9 delegate, and that would be myself.
Yeah. So are you going to be attending the meetings? I thought we had talked about you wanting to appoint somebody else.
I did want to as well. I want to see who would like to. I know that since we do have a student trustee now, I would love to have Caston attend those meetings just because I know that Ariana and most other student trustees do participate as the Region 9 delegate. But if not, it's totally fine. We can definitely have someone else as well.
I'm fine.
Yeah. So Caston, you're good?
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like a good thing to do, definitely. I'd like, of course, always more information after the meeting, but I'm totally, I know a bit about it from my first experience as in the fall of 2019 and being friends with Hector when he was the Region 9.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I know a bit about it. It's totally up my alley.
Alrighty, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can appoint Ms. Caston Chamberlain as our Sscc Region 9 delegate. I wonder if we can get, oh, not wonder, but
That was
may
nice.
we get a
And being
motion?
friends with Hector when he was the Region 9.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Was that just on my end?
Sorry,
My voice is that squeaky?
I think that was the playback from the YouTube live streaming. Sorry, y'all.
Okay. No worries. I was just like, I was very
Our
shocked.
Zoom is possessed. I was like, what's happening?
It's giving up on us as well. Alrighty, can I go ahead and get a motion to appoint Ms. Caston Chamberlain as our Region 9 delegate?
A motion.
Ms. Alexis Martinez. Thank you, Alexis. Can I go ahead and get a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Alrighty, congratulations, Ms. Caston Chamberlain. You are now our Region 9 delegate.
Thank
I don't want to clap too hard, but I am clapping for you. Alrighty, moving on to our second line item, discussion on the Student Open Town Hall Forum. So the reason why I specifically wanted to put this one on here was just to grab more information about and feedback from your guys' point of view. We did have that student town hall this past Wednesday, February 17th. It was at 11 a.m. And we did have a few students. Mainly it was an update regarding our MSJC logo, as well as the nursing program, the emergency aid that will be going out hopefully soon. And I did give an update to our student body in regards to what we are doing this month and what we plan to do for the next month. But does anyone have any feedback, any questions or any concerns or just anything at all that maybe we could do better for the next town hall, which is scheduled next month? I don't have the date on the top of my head right now, but it is next month as well. And Cassie, I did see your hand up, so go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like the town hall went really well. I'd love to hear more feedback, but I did want to also add that I'm gonna have to go around 10:45 to get ready for work. I emailed the advisors and let Stephanie know, but I kind of sent the email last minute. So if you guys didn't see it, that's fine. But yeah, I feel like the town hall went pretty well, but what does everyone else think? I just want to, as me, I participated pretty heavily, so it's sometimes hard to see like an outside view. So I'm really curious to what everyone else thought.
Definitely. Let's see. Did anyone want to put anything maybe in the chat? Or you can go ahead and unmute yourself. All righty. Well, that definitely does it for that one. Did anyone want to say anything at all? I'm going to go ahead and give you one last call. Nope. Alrighty, I think we did very well then, Caston. But if you guys have any improvements, any suggestions, or any commentary, please go ahead and let me know. I really want to make sure that these town halls are as collaborative and as productive as possible. So just feel free to let me know if there's anything to improve on as well.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Question. How many students did we have show up to this one?
I believe it was around 15.
Yeah.
After taking away the numbers from staff, I believe it was 15.
I wonder, I mean, I don't know. We're at that time of the year where everybody's got like Daly said, everybody's got senioritis. Folks are just kind of, I think, doing the best they can. So I wonder if we might want to consider opening it up to other student groups, right? So like maybe not just SGA focus, maybe it's SGA, in collaboration. I don't know. I mean, we can talk more about it, Brian, but maybe we open it up to some of the affinity spaces, like some student leaders from Emoja, PTK, not PTK is not an affinity group, but you know what I mean, right? Like maybe we just bring in some other groups that might help with just attendance, I think. I don't know, just a thought.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, no worries. I know I was talking with Dr. Schultz when we were viewing Temecula Valley campus yesterday. We were talking about how we feel that many students are probably Zoom fried at this point. And I think that also has to do with just the current environment that we're in. I think just students are really tired of just being online, and I think that's also contributing to that number of students that we have participate in town hall. But I will definitely keep that in mind, and I know that we can have a better discussion after this meeting as well in terms of what we can possibly do as well. Daly said, Zoom Friday is a great word. Yeah, it is, huh? I do feel like everyone is tired of being online. I have to agree as well. I second that. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to our next action item if there's nothing else to discuss. And that is discussion on student participation in student participatory governance committees. So last week I did mention to you all that I did want to make sure that we at least have one SGA member in at least one committee. So that way they can participate, whether it's the Student Success Committee or the Student Services Committee or the Diversity Committee, at least having one student participate in at least one participatory governance committee. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I'm not sure if anyone was able to look at these. I did send out the link, and I'll go ahead and put the link right now in the chat. Please look at their charges and the dates that they are meeting. And I would like to make sure that we have that settled today for those that are present to see which participatory governance committee they would like to participate in. And I did put it in the chat. So if you go ahead and open that link, it'll direct you to Board Docs or our district's website. And then go ahead and go to Library on the top right-hand side. Go ahead and click on that, and then you will, it'll take you to all these like gray tabs on the left-hand side, and you'll scroll down to participatory governance committees, and you'll see all the committees listed with their with their respective dates, times, and charges and contact information as well. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys about just 2 minutes just so that you can go ahead and look at that. But I would really love to at least get a committee assigned to at least one SGA member that's on the line right now. I know for Janelle, I know that she did say that she wanted to be in the Student Success Committee, which I have her listed in. And I know Caston participates in various committees, so I'm going to go ahead and check up on her after this meeting. To make sure that we at least have some student representation in these meetings.
I also want to mention, Brian, I don't want you guys to make an impulse decision because this is you know, it's something that you have to be there, attend their meetings every month. And but you guys are welcome to attend as a visitor if you want to try it out, see what they do, you know, see if you're interested. So any student can join the meeting. So, or join the committee meeting. So if you want to try that out first, test it out, see if you like it, and then contact them to be an official member, then that might be the best option.
Yes, perfect. And if you do decide to do that, please let me know. That way I can just like make sure that you guys are participating in at least one. I just want to make sure that we have some student participation at least in these committees because they do focus. Their focus work is obviously on student and improving the student experience, but just definitely want to make sure that there is some student representation in these participatory governance committees.
Hey, Brian.
Yes, Maya.
So you reminded me, well, this agenda item reminded me that I got an email from our academic senate, executive senate president, Ryan Sullivan, the English faculty. And so the academic senate and I had chatted about this, and the SGA president, gosh, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago when I first got here, about having an SGA report out representative on academic senate, specifically the executive senate meeting, which is, you know, pretty much like the main governing participatory and governing body for faculty, right? So it's a pretty impactful group. Anyway, so Ryan wants to have, in fact, an SGA representative on the sit on the executive Senate. Well, actually, I don't know if they'd be sitting as a board member, but they would be part of the agenda every week, essentially, to give a report out on SGA and then, bring concerns, questions, comments, that kind of thing. And I think it's a great opportunity, frankly. I'm regretful that we didn't do it. I didn't push for it more last year, but either way, it's here now. And so, it can be the president, it can be the student trustee. Well, it probably should be somebody who's, mandated to be on SGA. So, certainly Casting can attend, of course, the student trustee, but it would probably be good to designate an official SGA rep. It doesn't have to be the president, Brian, it can be you, but frankly, you're tied in a lot of different ways as well. What we've done in the past, which I found has worked, is we rotate folks to represent. So, 1 month it'll be the president, the next month it'll be maybe a VP or commissioner, that kind of thing. So there's only 2 more meetings, I think, or 3 more meetings for the semester, Brian, but I do think it's a good thing that we do. So we might want to consider that sooner than later, because I think I have to give Ryan an answer soon, like in the next week or so.
Okay, perfect. Then I think I will definitely, I know that the VPs are not here right now. So what I can do is I'm hoping maybe next week I can have this on the agenda, and I'll give them a talk prior to this, and hopefully we can make an agreement prior to the meeting. That way, I would really love to have some student representation as well in the academic senate. Even though there's only 2-3 meetings left, I would still love to have that. And I'm hoping, and I feel that they will be open to being present in those meetings as well.
Yes, great.
Any other questions, concerns regarding this line item? I'm going to go ahead, just as Suzanne said, I'll go ahead and come back to this as well to next week. But I just want to make sure that hopefully you guys can at least participate in one, or if you're interested in at least one of those committees as well. But moving on to this line item 4, a discussion and approval on new tentative dates for the Welcome Back drive-through. There is some new information regarding the drive-through, so I want to see if Maya, if you would possibly want to give an update, because I know that there is some sort of change of plan for this one.
Well, so this isn't a change of mind. This is totally just, a suggestion, a consideration. So, I was reflecting on potentially shifting the drive-throughs back. So we were originally going to do the drive-throughs March 3rd and 4th, but then we realized on the 4th that we have the mental health R with Impact event, which you all are co-sponsoring. So I really, really, really don't recommend that we have a drive-through on the same day that we're having such an important event. So that pushed back potentially the drive-throughs to later in March. Well, then, I was thinking, Brian and I had, I think I'd only mentioned it to you once, Brian. I don't know if we'd really talked about it, about doing a grad, like some type of grad gift for the graduation drive-throughs that are going to happen. And so I got to thinking, maybe we just save some money and we potentially hold off on the drive-throughs, as their own thing, and instead use the giveaways that we purchased for the drive-throughs as a potential giveaway for the graduation drive-throughs instead. And so we wouldn't necessarily have a drive-through for the month of March or even April. We would just hold off and hold it in. We would have it as a drive-through, or we would be part of rather the graduation drive-through that's already happening. We were already thinking of doing that. We were thinking of having you all, or whoever wanted to, for that matter, that wasn't graduating, attend the drive-throughs, right, as like an SGA representative, and give away whatever it is that you all wanted to give away. But we were thinking we would just, we could save some money by holding off and just using those items for the graduation drive-through. The other consideration as to why I was reflecting on this was, we were also not anticipating necessarily spending as much for the SGA relief fund. That was something that, originally, if y'all remember, we thought about doing 3,000, and then, it gradually went up higher, and now I think we're at about 8,000 plus, and we may very well go beyond that as well. So, that's money that we weren't necessarily budgeting to do, which I think is great, and I mean, it's going for an absolutely necessary cause, but it does, kind of realign some things. And since we are already in the middle of the semester, they wouldn't even be welcome drive-throughs anymore. They would be different. So it's just a thought, if you all are, like, no, we really need to do these drive-throughs, then, certainly we can obviously move forward with them. I just would advise that we did it later in March, And that puts us right before spring break. So yeah, so that's just what I wanted to bring up to y'all as a possible consideration. So again, so not really postponing, but shifting the giveaway items and instead saving them for the graduation drive-through. So not doing a drive-through in the middle of the semester, but rather waiting until the graduation drive-through.
What does everyone on the line think so far? I know we have about 4 members because I know everyone has to leave for work or other events, but what does everyone think so far? Aaron gave a thumbs up. Thank you, Aaron. So far, I mean, I feel like we can definitely come back and talk about this. Hopefully when more SGA members, and I'll hopefully table it as well. That way we can talk about it again. But so far, I definitely agree with you, Maya. I definitely think it's not really a welcome back drive-through as we anticipated it to be. And I feel like it would be great as well to be a part of the graduation ceremony as well in this way. And I like the idea as well.
Okay, so I mean, here's the thing, we do have to make a decision one way or another because we're gonna move forward with buying t-shirts no matter what. So Jose's working on that and ideally we'll have them ordered by next week. So yeah, but we probably do need to make a hard decision next week, so.
Okay, perfect. And I'll definitely make sure to give a heads up to the whole team. And I'll send them probably an email today letting them know that there is this possible suggestion in regards to having or moving back the drive-through until graduation. And then hopefully we can make that decision next week. And I'm hoping everyone is present to make that decision possible. But everyone else, does anyone have any other comments regarding this line item? Bailey, Stephanie, Alexis, any comments? Alrighty, I'll go ahead and move on and I'll go make, you know what, let me go ahead and see if I can get a motion to table line item 4 for next week's meeting as well, a discussion and approval on the new tentative dates for the welcome back drive-through. And I'll go ahead and just rename this line item as well, just to fit it for next week as well. Can I go ahead and get a motion, please?
I motion.
Alrighty, thank you, Stephanie. Can I go ahead and get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Alrighty, moving on to the line item 5, discussion and on hosting a virtual new release film screening. And this is a possible film screen is Judas and the Black Messiah.
Messiah.
Yeah, Messiah. Yeah.
Messiah.
I was like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Messiah. Yeah. Let me see. I know. Was this something that the advisors
I requested this, Brian.
Oh yes, I remember from our check-in. Yes.
Yeah. So just a quick question to the group. How many have heard of the movie Judas and the Black Messiah? Anybody? You can say in the comments if you have or not. Okay, so I'm gonna assume folks haven't. Okay. So it's a movie that came out recently on HBO Max. It's basically, it tells the story of the one of the leaders of the Black Panther movement. Oh, Aaron, okay, yeah, great. Yeah, so it tells the story of Fred Hampton, who was 21 when he was shot and killed by Chicago police officers in a midnight raid or early morning raid of his apartment along with some other Black Panther leaders. But at the time before he was murdered, he essentially was one of the rising stars of the Black Panther movement at the time, in particular because of his emphasis on coalition building and providing basic healthcare and basic wellness care basically for the community there in Chicago, particularly the poor neighborhoods of Chicago. So it also talks about how the FBI, or it tells the story rather of the true story of how the FBI used an informant to essentially spy and give, I mean, all sorts of, information about the Black Panthers. So they actually used a member of the Black Panther movement to essentially give information to the FBI without the Black Panthers knowing, essentially. So the Black Panthers were a Black activist organization in the late 60s, mid 60s and 70s. So anyway, so there's a whole history of the Black Panther movement. For those of you who aren't aware of, the history, I'm not even fully aware of it. Frankly, I had to do a lot of homework this weekend after I watched the movie. Anyway, I thought it was, when I watched it, what really struck me was I didn't realize how young Fred Hampton was. I mean, he was literally 21 years old, but if you heard this person speak, I mean, he could have been, 50 or 60 with the way that he just carried a room and spoke. And it reminded me of you all. It reminded me of the student activists that I've had the privilege of working with over the years. And it just, Asia and I are working on this program with some other folks here of developing a training program. You've heard me talk about developing kind of a history lesson on activism, student activism in particular. And what the cool thing about some of the students in the Black Panther movement is that they attended community college, and Fred Hampton actually attended a junior college in Chicago. And that's how he got his start. So I thought it was really relevant. It's a controversial film, certainly. It does not paint, the police force, certainly at that time in the Chicago PD, as, by all intents and purposes, it paints them as essentially murdering him, which I thought also those issues were relevant to the issues that we're facing today. So it's just a thought. It may or may not be very controversial. I don't even know. Certainly we're college, colleges show controversial films all the time. It would be potentially a virtual screening, so it doesn't come out. We use a film licensing company called Swank Entertainment. We've used them for film licenses. Y'all probably remember. It would be a little pricey, probably be about $1,200 to $1,500 to get the license for the film because it's obviously a new release. We would have to limit the attendees. And so the way it would work is we would release a code, and then that code is essentially what we're purchasing. And that would be available for students for, I believe, like a 24-hour period. And that's it. So they wouldn't even necessarily have to see the film just in that time period. Certainly they could, like we could host a screening time. But then if folks weren't able to make that screening time, they'd have that 24 hours with that code to watch the movie, which I thought was pretty cool. So Brian, I think I forwarded you some of that info. I'm not sure. I think I forwarded you the info from Dan Brockman, I think is his name, from Swank. So you have that, Brian. If you can send that maybe out to the students, to the whole group, and we can maybe consider voting on it next week when we have a bigger group. But I do think it's something that we should think about, hosting these types of events that prompt discussion, no matter where you stand on the political spectrum. I mean, the issues that are raised in this film, I think, are pretty powerful on all centers. So that's why it's called Judas and the Black Messiah. The Black Messiah was Fred Hampton, and Judas was the Black Panther informant, the FBI informant that in fact he was actually Fred Hampton's driver, I believe, or personal body man. So that's how close the FBI had infiltrated the Black Panther movement at that time. So it's fascinating. If y'all don't know about it, I highly encourage. There's also some documentaries, Brian, that we can potentially also screen that are on the Black Panther movement. I just think it's relevant because number one, it's Black History Month, but number two, it's also, a lot of these student activists, or these activists per se, were all students. I mean, they were, some of them younger than you all are right now. Some of them were even as young as in high school. So to think that we're still talking about that movement and the things that they fought for now, some, 30, 40 years later, is just kind of incredible. So anyway, something to think about. 50 years, I guess, longer than that. Gosh, almost. Yeah, anyway, long time.
Perfect. And I would definitely make sure to have this in the agenda for next week, as well as as an action item. I know, I believe I did receive the email with the information, so I'll go ahead and make sure to send that out alongside with the agenda and the minutes for next week as well.
Any thoughts though from the group, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any questions or concerns or comments? You
don't have to agree with it either.
Don't agree with mine, just don't agree. Let's see, you guys can go ahead and type it in the chat if you would like to. What do you guys think so far for those members that are here with us right now? Let's see, I see Alexis, she put in the chat, I think it's a great idea. Second, Erin did say, I think that's an awesome way to display the power of student-driven leadership and the impact on community. Yeah, I agree.
Brian, I also have one more thing. I think it's a good way for us to be more educated on things that we probably haven't known.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make, as I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and have this as a voting item next week, and as a discussion and voting item, and hopefully we can see what SGA thinks next week. But thank you, Maya, for providing that information for us. Moving on to our last discussion and action item is discussion on graduation 2021. I'm going to go ahead and just table this item hopefully for next week's meeting, just because I know I would love to have more conversation regarding graduation. I know Maya did talk about it very briefly about the idea of the drive-through, but I do want to make sure that we can talk about how SGA can also support for graduation. So I'm going to go ahead and just table it for next week's meeting because I want to make sure everyone is included in the discussion. But can I go ahead and get a motion to table line item 6 for next week's meeting?
I motion.
Alrighty, that was Alexis. Can I go ahead and get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Alrighty, so we did table line item 6 for next week's meeting. Alrighty, is there any call for agenda items for next week's meeting? If you do not have any in your mind right now, you can go ahead and just email me. Try to email me before Monday. I would really appreciate it. But if you, once again, if you do, go ahead and just email me, send me a message of an agenda item, and I will make sure to have that listed for you. But any agenda items so far right now?
I think an agenda item I wanted to talk about in a future meeting is maybe the possibility of stipends for student leaders, and committee, because I mean, the reality is that people probably don't participate as much as we want them to because they get caught up in work and life and school, and it's a lot. So I think pushing for some type of something it could really benefit not just us, but the motivation for students to continue to be in these spaces more than now, if that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. All right.
And just to comment on this as well, I don't know if folks know this, but student trustees receive a stipend to attend the board meetings. So it is something that's already a precedent at our district and certainly at other community colleges. And frankly, at the four-year level, when you're in student government, when you're in the associate students, I believe at the four-year, most all of them receive some type of stipend to do the work because it's almost like a full-time job. And at community colleges, it's been a little slower. That culture has been a little slower to be adopted, but it is definitely starting to gain traction in terms of AS student leaders getting some type of scholarship or stipend at the end of the semester based on how many meetings they actually attend, right? And participatory governance committee meetings as well. So I do think, Aron and I talked about this and I brought it up. I think it's something we need to really consider because we're really hurting getting students to show up to these participatory governance committees, and they're just not doing it because they've got work, they've got lives, and y'all have the same thing. I mean, look, we've got students here that aren't here. Why? Because they're working. So I think it's something that y'all should consider now that you all have a budget. We haven't had a budget in years past, but now we do. So I think it's something we really give serious consideration to.
Yes, perfect. Alrighty, if there's no other agenda items, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:07 a.m. Thank you guys so very much for being present with us. For those members that are with us, thank you. And for those that had to leave, thank you as well. And for our students, thank you for tuning into our meeting on February 19th, 2021. Thank you all.